Good morning, my millionaire growth partners. My name is Otis Tucker, the world's first trillionaire. I am creating financial freedom opportunities for billions of people across this world. I am creating a million millionaires. I am the greatest leader people that ever lived. I am God, and most important is that I manifest the words I speak. My message for you today, people, is to go on your spiritual journey. You know, I say that because it's like I ran a meeting last week, a message last week where I was talking about, there's a big difference between religions and spirituality. And what I really talk about people and what I encourage people to do is not necessarily to get caught up in any religion per se. Not saying there's nothing wrong with religions, but I just know for me personally, I strongly encourage people to go on a spiritual journey where they go from wherever they are and getting to the point where they really tap into the spirit of God that's inside of them, which again, the spirit of God that's inside of people is what you consider and call your soul. Now, obviously, you're not going to start there because I've been on my spiritual journey now, even before I realized that's what was happening, since December 2021. It's like, what you got to realize, people, is that we all have a calling in our lives. We all have a purpose of what God wants us to do on this earth before we expire on this physical plane. And it's like, in order for you to get to the point, though, where you can even identify what that is and to actually receive the anointing of God over your life, is that you have to go through a process, you know? And more or less, it's like there's levels to spirituality. Is, of course, we all know the basics. We know there's a God that have created the universe and everything that we see and experience. But I really want you to get to the point where you go from that way of thinking, because of my whole life growing up, I believe God is in the sky somewhere, you know? And it's like you have to go from that mentality. At least you know and understand that there is a God that created all this. But it's like I want you to go to the point where you actually realize that the Spirit of God lives inside of you and that you have the same abilities that God have. You know what I'm saying? You have the ability to create. You have the ability to really make a difference in this world, through Him, obviously. Now, as you go on this journey, people, it's like I've always shared this with you that, I really want you to get in the habit, develop the habit of praying on a consistent basis, because that's the language of the spirit that's inside of you. And the more you speak the language, people, is the more you're communicating and the more you are intertwined in your relationship, I should say, where you're becoming this spirit that's inside you. And essentially, that is the goal. The goal essentially is for you at some point is for you to stop being your body only, right? Because we're mind, body, and spirit, but most people just stop at being their body. But eventually the goal is to get to the point where you become the spirit of God that's inside of you, which is where I am right now. And I've been in this space since January 15th of last year. It's like what I see for this future, people, is that as you go on the spiritual journey, man, of developing yourself, when I say developing yourself, really and truly, I'm talking about to really become the spirit of God. You have to change. You have to change your ways of beings. You have to work on developing the right characteristics. A characteristic of, number one, integrity. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that you're always going to be working on, people. I don't think you ever stop working on that one. You have to develop the habit of trust, just honesty, I should say, where you can be brutally honest with especially yourself and others. I also see where you have to develop, man, the true love and compassion for people, where you have a genuine love and care for the betterment of mankind. You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't something you can fake. You either develop it or you don't. I'm telling you right now that to really become the spirit of God as you go on this journey is that you must develop a natural love and compassion for people that you never even met, man. It's just a genuine love for the betterment of mankind, and that's an amazing space to be, people. It really is. It's a really good space to be. And humility, people. I'm just listing a few here, man. Is that what you realize is that you have to get to the point where you stop taking credit for this stuff. Nothing that's happening in my life, people, no matter what you see me accomplish, it's not me that's doing it. It's the Spirit of God that's in me that's doing it. Now, I claim the Spirit, so of course it's me in that sense, because I am the Spirit of God that resides inside of me. I became that as of, again, January 15, 2024. Now, it's like as you work on yourself, people, and another one I'll throw out there real quick, characteristic wise, is you must develop self discipline, man. You have to be very self disciplined. And as you do these things, people, what it's doing for you is that it's going to be challenging because you don't naturally embody all of these qualities. So it's like as you work on them, that's where the work comes in. It becomes challenging. You find yourself on to revert back to your old way of being. But the good thing is that the Spirit and God will reward you, man, when you have the discipline to keep on pushing forward, to keep on working on yourself, to keep on being humble and continuously be studious and continue to pray profusely on a regular basis until you really tap into the Spirit, man. And the reason why I'm encouraging you so strongly to do this, people, is that when you do this, you get to the point where you have a peace, man. One of the greatest benefit of tapping into the Spirit is that it could be a tornado, a hurricane, all kinds of stuff around you, man. So it's not that I don't deal with challenges. It's just that no matter what challenge I'm dealing with, what God and the Spirit of God give you, man, is peace. Peace, be still. You know what I'm saying? And it give you a level of grace, and it give you a level of compassion while you're going through all these challenges, people. And that's what can keep a beautiful smile on your face, because it starts within. You have a beautiful smile and happiness, a genuine happiness inside your heart. And believe you me when I tell you this, that is the most priceless possession that you can ever have. There is no amount of money, people, that can buy genuine happiness and genuine peace. I implore you, people, to go on your spiritual journey and allow God to work on you and use you, man, to fulfill His will. And the most beautiful thing I say real quick, man, it's like, look, man, the most beautiful thing is that God used any and everybody, people. I tell you, I'm not a religious person, man. I still don't go to church like that. And sometimes, most of the time when I do, people, I fall asleep. I'm be honest with you. You know, I got my wife and family, though. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when I go, I'm there. But, you know, it's like my point I'm trying to get at, man, is that don't get caught up in what you think your relationship with God need to look like. Just trust and believe that God want to use you, and you just need to get busy on this journey, man. Because again, as you get to the point where you become your spirit, man, is that there's an anointing, man, that I tell you that God have over my life, and I know He will put on your life, man, because anybody that's out here that's really and truly doing His will, they have an anointing and a level of protection over their life that you don't even see the things that He's protecting you from. And that's what I want for you, people, because that's what I'm experiencing myself, and I know how amazing it feels, and I want you to have that same feeling for yourself also. Anyways, people, that's that. Shout out to Jamaica, man, who is the eye of this world. Shout out to Africa, who is the mother of this world, and the Caribbean, man. My mandate and purpose here on this earth, my mandate from God and my purpose for being here, people, is to unite the Caribbean and Africa, man. And a couple quick things I want to share with you. I mentioned to you that the greatest prosperity period in this history of this world is coming now because of the awakening of people, not just here, but around the world, man. There's so many chosen people like myself out here, man, that the Spirit of God is just looking for them to develop themselves just like I have, so that He can go ahead and use them, man, to change this world. You know, over there in Africa right now, there's 4 innovations I want to touch on that's literally about to change the entire world. Number 1, people, is out there in South Africa, man. They've been testing this right now. They've created a genuine cure without pills, where they modify your DNA or your internal biometrics, where it can create the antibodies or whatever it needs to keep AIDS away. You know what I mean? That's a big deal, man. And it's affordable. You know what I'm saying? It's that one thing I love about the innovations out of Africa is that they're very affordable, so the average person can afford it. You don't need to be wealthy out here to receive the benefits for their inventions. One in five right now, people from their study a year later, is still AIDS free. So it's still more development there, but the bottom line is they're making headways on that where I know no other countries that can actually boast that. So South Africa, applauding to you for that, man. Over there in Congo right now, they have actually figured out a way to get power from trees. Well, there's an abundance of that, and especially people that live in rural areas, which is huge in the Caribbean and Africa, where some places they don't even have power. To be able to harness power from trees, people, to power appliances, etc. That's amazing. You know what I mean? You can have a log cabin in the wood with power from trees, people. Like, this is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Also over there in Kenya, man, I want to shout him out real quick. Right now, they have a guy over there that invented, prosthetics, where you can actually use the prosthetics with your thoughts. I mean, that's amazing, man. I mean, limited resources, just dealing with scraps and creating it, man, from just the genuine God-given talent that he has. So that's huge coming out of Kenya. And of course, the biggest one of all, people, is over there in Zimbabwe, where they got the self-powered car that you can run forever without fuel or plugging it in, because it's simply dependent on radio waves to fuel the vehicle, which is an endless supply of that in all weather conditions. So it's like the greatest innovation, people, like I stated before, is coming out of Africa and the Caribbean, man. And the greatest wave of prosperity is coming out of the continent of Africa and the Caribbean. So it's like I want us to feel proud. That's number one. African people, Caribbean people, you should feel extremely proud right now. So people around the world should be happy about this, because this benefit not just us but everybody. Anyways, man, biggest thing I want to say is that from what the Spirit showed me, people, is that all we got to do is just united we stand, divided we fall. So every single day, people, find ways to inspire and motivate each other. Find ways, man, to really encourage each other to continue to move forward, people. With that being said, people, you all have... Oh, my prayer for y'all real quick is, look, man, really take heed to this, people. I really want you to go on your spiritual journey, man. That way you can actually feel this anointing on your life and just feel this genuine happiness, this level of peace. It's like my heart is full every day, and I'm excited about that, man. It makes life so much easier. It's so much easier to be excited and smiling when you got genuine joy inside you, and I want that for you, people. That can only come from the Spirit of God, man, and I want you to develop that for yourself. Anyways, people, we'll talk tomorrow. Have a great day.